If you're tired of being in what I call the admin trap, in other words, you are in quoting chaos. You can't find your head from your tails with the amount of inquiries that are coming in. You're ending up quoting jobs at like 9 p.m. at night or doing work that you shouldn't be doing because it should be time spent with your family, winding down, but instead you're still tied like a ball and a chain to your business in unsociable hours. This video is for you because in this video I'm going to show you how in our business we have got out of that quoting chaos, that admin trap, not being able to find your head from your tails when it comes to, did that inquiry reach out to me on SMS? Did they call? Did they text? Where did I put that piece of paper that I jotted them notes down? You're going to literally get so much clarity from this. If we haven't met already, my name's Phil Fulton. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer here at Spencer & Co. And if you haven't tuned into the previous videos within this series where I'm breaking down the 3 core systems that helped us build our 7-figure landscaping business, our home renovation business, that helped us close over £700,000 worth of business in the last 90 days and book over 100 qualified appointments in our diary, then I'm going to highly recommend that you go into the description in this YouTube video, click those videos. I'm going to link to those. Make sure you watch them from the start so you can get the full picture. But if you are literally just trying to organize your thoughts, organize your marketing and your sales process, organize how you can automate and systemize your sales process so you can organize where your inquiries are coming from, then this video is going to change the game for you. And if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to this YouTube channel so you don't miss the other videos that are coming out, where we're going to be literally pulling back the curtain and showing you behind the scenes insights into how we've built this business and how we've systemized and grown our business. So we've got out of the quoting chaos and the admin trap. Then just again, make sure that you subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss a thing. So before I get into the nitty gritty, let me just walk you through how we built this system. And this part of our system is what we call our profit-driven pipeline. So where this system really come from was when I first started working with Danny Spencer, the owner of Spencer & Co. Construction Limited, a renovation business specializing in outdoor renovations. He positioned his business quite tremendously. In fact, he was literally on the Facebooks, the Instagrams, the socials, pushing fantastic content out there, getting more inquiries than he could handle. On the face of things, from an outsider looking in, it looked like a tremendously successful business. But when I started working with Danny about a year ago, it was a completely different story on the inside. He was literally up at 9 p.m. at night trying to organize things from the day, trying to figure out where inquiries were coming from, sending quotes at like 9 p.m. at night. Literally couldn't find his head from his tails at time. And this was one of the first systems that we had to implement. You see, most people think that more leads, more inquiries, running more ads, doing more content on social media, knocking more doors, making more cold calls, whatever it is going to change your business. Where in actual fact, more inquiries oftentimes actually causes businesses to go into chaos because they haven't got their internal systems in place to handle the amount of inquiries and to be able to fulfill at a high scale. And this is where Danny was when I started working with him. The amount of inquiries that were coming in was fantastic, but it was actually causing a major issue in his business. It was very disorganized how he was handling them inquiries, and oftentimes it was leading to disgruntled potential clients because he wasn't efficient in getting back to those inquiries in the time frame that they were expecting to get back to. Imagine if somebody's reaching out to you, wanting a quote, wanting a question answered about your service, but you're so busy with the amount of inquiries, we're trying to deal with fires in your business, we're trying to do this, trying to that, wearing all the hats that a business owner is wearing. Imagine how disgruntled your potential customers are getting. And this was one of the first things that we had to fix in the business. And this really was the thing that changed everything for him. Once we built this system out, once we organized it in such a way and we created automation and systems around where his inquiries were coming from, how those inquiries were dealt with, how we could get on top of these inquiries fast, and then how we could automatically get these inquiries pre-qualified without him having to really interact with the customers, how we could automatically get those inquiries booked in for qualified site surveys. So all he had to do was turn up with his surveying team, provide expert guidance, then automatically get a quote sent out to that individual without having to quote jobs at 9 p.m. at night. It literally doubled his business. And this can happen for you as well. So where most businesses are thinking, I need more leads, I need more inquiries. No, oftentimes you don't need more unless you're literally as dry as a bone when it comes to getting inquiries. Oftentimes what you need is automation, systemization to organize the influx of inquiries and how you deal with them and get them turned into quote ready jobs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to the whiteboard here. I'm going to draw it out so I can give you some visual context to how we sorted this big problem out, so you can hopefully get some inspiration from this and see how this system that we've built may be able to help you, or how you can take some of these ideas and implement them inside of your business. So let's begin on the whiteboard. So here is your local market. Yeah, here's your local market. Yeah, these are all the people in your area that might be interested in getting or finding more about your service. Now, the thing is with this local market is they're all in different places when it comes to what their preference is in terms of getting in touch with you. So, for example, you may have a website where you've got like a contact form or your phone number on the website. You've got a phone number, if we can get this to work. Here we go. You've got a phone number where people could potentially call you. You've got SMS, text, and WhatsApp. I'm telling you, man, like I said in my last video, it's a good job this isn't a spelling competition, because it'd be all over for me. So you've got SMS and WhatsApp where they could text you or WhatsApp you. You've got your Facebook inbox. You've got your IG, Instagram, DM, where they could direct message you. You've got all these different channels where somebody could get in touch with you. We've got email over here. And it's like, you know, while you're running around trying to like go out to quotes, actually fulfill on your jobs, head over to the merchants to get supplies for your next job, dealing with one of your staff members, dealing with another potential customer. There's so many different things that you're doing in your business on a day-to-day basis. And then you've got all these different channels where potential customers could reach out to you. It's hard sometimes to even know what your login details are for your inbox, for your Instagram, for your email. Where's this? Where's that? Where did that person get back to me? And it's easy to see why most inquiries go missed. You see, I think it's the statistics are like over 60% or at least over 50% of service-based businesses take more than 5 minutes, more than 10, more than 20, sometimes hours, if not days, to get back to inquiries. Now, you've got to understand your local market over here, when they're ready to get a quote, they want a quote now. You don't go to, like, for example, McDonald's and say, you know, I want a Big Mac. And then, like, you know, if you're waiting in the queue for more than 5-10 minutes, you start to get stressed. You start to get frustrated. You start to think, forget this place. I'll go over to Burger King or whatever your place of food choice is. This is your potential customers. If you can increase your speed to lead, in other words, if you can get to your inquiries within 5 minutes, you are 100 times more likely to convert that individual. Imagine that. If you, within 5 minutes, and trust me, 5 minutes is still kind of slow. If you can get to your lead, like literally the moment that they inquire, then your chances of converting that individual are 100 times more likely. Just picture that. So when you're trying to get more leads to fix your business, more inquiries, pay for more advertising, if you were just able to get on top of the inquiries that were coming in faster than you are right now, there's 100 times more likelihood that these leads would convert in your business. But the problem we've got here, as you can see, there's all these different channels. So what we did first and foremost is we created a pipeline that enabled us to collect all of these inquiries from all of these different channels in one place. And this is the CRM that we use in our business. It connects to all of these different channels and puts them all in one place. So in other words, we've got this one CRM, and then we've got like a pipeline with the CRM. Let me just go back here. Sorry, let's go over here. We've got a pipeline with the CRM so that all these leads go into a new lead stage. New lead stage of our pipeline. That's number one, right? The new lead stage. And I'm sharing this with you so you can sort of see like why this is important, because all of these are leads. Now, when you've got a centralized CRM, so all the inquiries come into one place, it changes the game for you. In other words, you don't need to go from your Instagram to your Facebook to your emails. You don't need to have like 3 different phones. So you've got a personal phone, a business phone, a phone for your clients, whatever. You've just got one place where all the inquiries come in. It just creates clarity. And then you've got this one centralized database where all inquiries are going in, so that you're actually starting to build your database. You're starting to build your list, because you know how it is. Somebody might inquire for a quote, but they may not want the work doing until like 3 months time, 6 months time, or even next year. So instead of like trying to get that lead and convert that lead there and then, what you don't want to do is like let that go cold and try and get another one. You've already sent that quote. You've already built somewhat of a relationship. You need all your inquiries to go into one place so that you can follow up with that individual and remind them that you're still about when maybe the season does go quiet or leads are quiet. You can send a text out to everybody going, hey, if you're still interested in a quote, you can follow up. You can have all these different levels of automation. And this is what the profit-driven pipeline is all about. But you want all of these individuals to go into one place, into a new lead stage. Now, the beautiful thing is when they go into the new lead stage, if you are busy running the business, going on quotes, doing the fulfillment, managing the team, running an actual business, then what you need is automation and AI to be able to qualify and determine whether this lead is a qualified prospect. In other words, you need now the second step in your pipeline to be where you engage with the lead, right? And the engagement in this lead is ultimately where you are qualifying that lead. You're finding out what kind of project they're looking for. Is this person a right fit for your business? Now, you could be a landscaper, a home renovation business. You could specialize in driveways, full garden renovations, extensions, full renovations, loft conversions, whatever it is. We need to determine whether this lead, this inquiry meets your services, and whether or not they have the money, whether or not they're looking for a quote or they're just information gathering. And what we did, and this is really, again, what helped Danny Spencer in Spencer & Co. change the game in his business and stop leaving so much money on the table. We built what we call Ellie Spencer. She is an AI automation, an AI assistant, an AI employee that speaks to every single lead. It doesn't matter whether they call, whether they text, whether they WhatsApp us, whether they Facebook message us, Instagram DM us. It doesn't matter. Ellie moves these people from the new lead stage to engage, to start qualifying these individuals, to start determining what kind of service they're looking for, where they're at, have they got quotes, are they looking for guidance, what their budget is, all these different things. Then what she does at that point is, once she's qualified, she's either going to disqualify them, disqual, and say, sorry, unfortunately, we're not a right fit for you. However, we will point you in the right direction. Or she's going to move them to booking a home site survey. So here we want to book an appointment. Book, again, not a good spelling over here. We want to book this person in for an appointment. The reason why this is absolutely critical is because this is where the magic happens. But what you don't want to do, you don't want to be caught in that trap of going, when are you free? Tuesday, Wednesday. Oh, you're not free then. How about Wednesday and Saturday? And it takes you like an hour to align your diaries. What you need to do is have a CRM, an AI assistant, because right now it's way cheaper than employing somebody, especially when like it's so expensive to just have more bodies in your business, when material costs are going up, all of these things. And AI is at a point where it's so sophisticated it can handle all of this for you. And trust me, customers don't care whether they're speaking to a human or an AI assistant. We've got so much proof and evidence backed in. Don't get me wrong, customers love a human touch, but if you can have this in case the human that deals with this, whether it's yourself, whether you're off in staff, can pick this up in case they're not able to, then it will save you so much time and fix all the leaks within your business. So at this point, you want them to book an appointment. And what we ultimately do is we create a calendar within the CRM. We organize where your availability is to be able to see site surveys, whether it's after hours because you're busy in fulfillment in the day. Maybe you've got a surveying team. We add them to the system, whatever it is. It was Dan and his surveying team that we had to organize all this out for. We created the calendars. We told the AI assistant when the available slots are. We pre-programmed them with all the pre-qualification questions, and it understood how to book these appointments. Then all Dan and the surveying team had to do was literally go out and quote these individuals, right? So this is where they would go and assess the space. They would get measurements, find out what the design requirements are, where people are at, offer expert guidance. And this is not a sales meeting. This is literally helping somebody, or at the very least point them in the right direction, so we could gather all the information that we needed to be able to put a quote together. At that point there, we would have a site survey attended stage. So like attended stage here, where what would happen is all Dan and the team would do is just literally slide over that individual to this stage, and then an automated text from the AI assistant would reach out to the individual saying, hope your site survey went well. Dan and the team are now putting the quote together. It'll be with you in the next 24 to 48 hours, more like 24 hours, and it's all automated. And then we would get feedback. We'd love to hear how your site survey went. And this is where we're building so much rapport and just putting ourselves head and shoulders above so many of the other individuals that are literally taking weeks and days to even just like acknowledge that they've been. Then at this point, what we're doing is we are moving them down into the quote sent stage. So we use AI for everything. It is at the point now where if you're not using it, you're literally getting left behind. We have pre-built bots that understand our costings of jobs, that understands our everything that we need the AI to know, so we can price a job accordingly. So we don't have to sit there at 9 p.m. at night writing out quotes, itemized quotes, this and that. We are using AI for everything. Dan and the team would then feed that information into another AI assistant. It would then spit out a quote. We would then put that quote together and send it over to the individual. And this would be the quote sent stage, right? So at this point here, at the quote sent stage, all we need to do again is just slide that individual over in the CRM. And then our AI assistant would literally text them saying, hey, so and so, just to let you know, Dan or the team have sent your quote over. It's got all the information you need. At this point, I'm going to be looking after you. And if there's anything you need, any more clarity, anything like that, please don't hesitate to reach out. So not only have we got the site surveying team sending out the quote within 24, 48 hours, we've now got the AI assistant now looking after this individual, following up on our behalf, while we literally are looking after the other lot of appointments that are coming in, and Dan's literally running a business as a business owner should be doing, instead of getting caught up in the admin and the chaos and the trap that he was caught in before I started working with him. Now, here's where the magic happens. While we've got more and more appointments coming into the system, Dan and the team are focusing on those appointments. And it's at this point now, we've literally got our AI assistant doing the automated follow-up, where every single week we just have like quote follow up 1, then we have quote follow up 2. Let me just move this over here. We have quote follow up 2 and 3 over here, and then 4 over here. And you get the idea, I hope you do anyway, where literally what we're ultimately doing is every single week, as well as the team and the site surveyors following up as well, we are following up and we're reaching out to the individual, and the AI assistant is feeding back to us where people are at in their buying cycle, whether they're getting other quotes, whether they need samples of materials, whether they need us to meet us at our supplier's yard to walk around and look at some of the materials, the slabs, the aggregates, the fencing, or whatever it is. At this stage, because we are following up consistently, and bearing in mind the fortune is in the follow-up, because we have all of this pre-built automation in place, we know where people are at. So for example, if people are like, hey, well, we've got all the information, all we're going to do is literally just park it and sit down right now, we know we can put them into like a future follow-up sequence. We know now we can put these people into, say, for example, like I said, a future follow-up sequence. And this could be at any stage. We might put them into a negotiation sequence, where what we're doing is maybe we've gone in a bit too high and they're saying our budget needs to be adjusted. Now we can literally strip things back, alter things, find out how we can get better quality, more affordable materials, because we are following up consistently and not always worrying about where our next job is coming from. Instead, we're looking after the people that have given us the time, the energy, and because we've put so much goodwill on the front end. Again, if you haven't watched our previous video on profit-driven positioning, then you'll see how when we're at this stage, we're hardly getting ghosted by people. It literally becomes like a follow-up concierge service to ensure that we are pointing them at the very least in the right direction, until ultimately they get to the quote accepted stage. And the beautiful thing about the quote accepted stage now is, once they're in the quote accepted stage, this is where we'll get into sort of like making sure we get our agreements in place. We're taking initial preliminary deposits, or whatever the case may be, dependent on each project and the size of the project or whatever it is. We're now then moving those people over to our job fulfillment pipeline. And when we get them into the job fulfillment pipeline, job fulfill, this is where we pass it over to Dean, our site manager, Dan's brother, and then Dean can look at organising when we're going to get this job booked in, when we can take one of our teams to start it, because we're organising this. And basically, this whole CRM is helping us organise everything from inquiry all the way to getting the job completed. And then what we do is we have regular check-ins. When we're in the job fulfillment stage, we have check-ins with the client, check-ins with the team, check-ins on every aspect over here to make sure that the quality, the customer experience is at the highest level, because getting a lead is one thing, fulfilling at the highest level is another thing. But what we ultimately want to do at this stage is, and I'll bring it over here, is make sure we can turn this into a beautiful case study, so that when the customer's happy, the client's happy, we're happy, we not only get 5-star reviews, and we can automatically set this up to the point where it's automatically sent out to them. But Dan, and you've probably seen this if you followed us on our social media, then books in to do a walk around of the job, so we can showcase that on our portfolio, on our social medias, so we can then put that out into the marketplace to strengthen our first process, our profit-driven positioning, that then feeds right the way back in to getting more leads at the beginning of the stage, because people see that and they constantly see that and they want the transformation. They're seeing that we're doing a great job. They're seeing that we do what we said we were going to do, and the reviews and the case studies and the customer feedback supports all of this. So it's a whole big ecosystem. So, like, just to sum it up, what ultimately we've got going on here, we've got our profit driven positioning system that sort of feeds in to our, again, I'm just going to show you this, our profit driven pipeline. And then that feeds into our profit driven, and I'm going to go into this one in the next video, processes, which then ultimately feeds back into our profit driven positioning. So there you go, guys. Like, this is literally the overarching system. We've got our profit driven positioning that feeds into the profit driven pipeline, that feeds into the profit driven processes. And it's this self perpetuating system, these 3 core systems that enable us to make sure that we never have to worry about where our next client is coming from, and we don't have to compete on price. It makes sure that we can efficiently handle all the inquiries that come in. Again, I'm going to go back over here. You can sort of see all the inquiries that can come in from different avenues, whether it's, the website, the phone call, the WhatsApp, the SMS, the inbox, the Facebook inbox, the DM, the email. We have these go through a distinct pipeline and stages using automation, AI, and automated follow-up to help us and our team be so efficient, so streamlined, so effective. We can get on top of these leads and give them a great service from start to finish, to ultimately get a case study once that client has become once that project has become a client. And then we feed it back into the processes so we can build our recruitment team, build our team with the best quality talent, position ourselves to attract more jobs, to attract more talent. And it's just this self-perpetuating 3 core systems that we keep drilling over and over again, which has allowed us to become the fastest growing landscaping business within the West Midlands. It's helped us, grow a huge 7-figure landscaping business and helping so many people transform their outdoor spaces. It helped us, get over 700,000 confirmed work in the last 90 days, book over 100 confirmed and qualified quote ready site surveys. It's just a beautiful thing. I'm just so pleased to be a part of such an amazing team, an amazing project, and I'm really excited to be sharing this with you, because if you've been struggling with one or more of these areas of the business, hopefully this is sort of having light bulbs go off and have you see sort of where you need to sort of fix certain areas in your business. So with that being said, again, don't forget to subscribe to this video, because you'll see the next video, where in the next video I'm going to be going into the profit-driven processes, how we attract top-tier talent and build systems and processes to literally make our team strong, and make sure that we can recruit and build the team effectively. If you haven't already, head over to the description and watch the first video where we break down profit-driven positioning and the overarching system. I'll link them down. And if you want to, we've got a pre-notification list where you can get notified when we do open spots to work with just a handful of new individuals, where we're going to open up the doors to be able to install these systems within your business. And as a bonus, when you join the pre-notification list, not only will you be first to hear when spots do open, and there will only be a handful of spots available, so do make sure you join the pre-notification list to learn when we do open the doors. But as a bonus, when you join the pre-notification list, we actually give you an interactive trial where you can engage with Ellie, who books all of our site surveys, and you can go through the process of pretending that you are actually a potential customer, booking a site survey with Spencer & Co. to have a feel what it's like to actually engage with one of these AI assistants, so you can see how like streamlined it can be for yourself, you know what I mean? So you can try it almost for yourself and see that, it is so effective, it's so streamlined, it's so quick. There's no way a human can compete with this AI technology. Yeah, I'm not denying a human touch is not important. We use these tools on top of providing that human touch. So with that being said, head over to the description, join the pre-notification list and get your bonus interactive trial with Ellie. It's completely free. And again, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to this video so you can see the next video where we're going to be going into the profit-driven processes. And I'm really looking forward to that. So with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you on the next video. You take care. Bye bye.